casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So, how do you submit yourself to God in order to resist the devil so that he will flee from you? How do you do that? And how do you bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ? How do you cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, which is Jesus? Okay, songs of praise equals, I'm doing the survival thing. So, what you use for your body to survive, the same application is to that which you use for your spirit to survive, and thus be led by the Spirit, walk in the Spirit instead of led of the flesh, walking of the flesh. So, songs of praise equals living water, and the Word of God equals spirit bread. For whatever lack of better phrasing on that, but Jesus, in one of the books, when he's talking to the woman at the well, he talks about water. Talks about the well and the water will, you will drink of, when you drink of this water, you'll thirst again. But if you drink of my water, you will never thirst again. I've experienced that. So, pornography is like the Jacob's well, in a manner of speaking. Or pornography is like the water of the world. You will go to that thirsting, and it will quench your thirst, but then you have to go back again and again and again, and you're not getting anywhere. But with the Bible, the Word of God, when you are entertaining godly things, your thirst will be quenched. It won't be an abuse cycle like with pornography. It'll be, and that's the application I use because that's relevant to me. But there are other applications like alcohol and whatever choice of drug that is altering your mind and making things far more difficult than if it just wasn't there. So yeah, songs of praise equals living water, and the Word of God equals spirit bread. Well, songs of praise, that's if I do an example, Waymaker, that's what it's called anyways, but Revelation song, our God is an awesome God, finding something that I can quote or sing. Our God is an awesome God, He reigns from heaven above. Our God is an awesome God, and He reigns from heaven above. Songs like that. Songs that are actually focusing more on Jesus than on us. Not focused on, it's just a sinner. No, not those songs. No songs that are giving glory to the flesh or giving glory to the devil, saying that the body of Christ are losers. None of that. Songs that are saying, Jesus is awesome! Stuff like that. God is awesome. That the Lord is awesome. Songs like that. Because you make a playlist of songs that are about praising Jesus and keeping Jesus on your mind, and you listen to that exclusively out of the music you listen to, you're always going to be thinking about Jesus because you have those songs on repeat. And when those songs are on repeat in your mind, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. It's repeating Jesus. It's repeating Jesus. And then, so like with water, you need water more than you need bread. So you should be listening, even though reading the word might be more, okay, we got to do that because that's the connectivity of everything. If you do not what I've experienced with this and seen the application be effective, I can go without sinning. I can take my thoughts in captivity. I can submit to God and resist the devil, and he flees. When I have that living water, which is praise music. When I don't have that water, then I get thirsty. I go to another fountain like pornography, or well, that's really the only other fountain I go to, but still you get the idea. Other people have their fountain. So, I go where the flesh considers its fountain instead of where the spirit has its fountain. And so yeah, when I have that living water, I am freed from sin. I walk in the Spirit. I don't dwell on the things of the world. I dwell on the things of God, and it's effective. And some people, they get on the right track and they never backslide. Unfortunately for me, when I got on the right track, I did backslide, and because I backslid, it's like now I'm here and here, and so got pornography, had praise music here, and I have to make a decision. Which one do I choose? Will I listen to the praise music and empower my spirit, or will I go to pornography and essentially drag myself to hell? I have that choice, and as much as it's like spirit, 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 anyone who understands what it's like to be in a flesh body understands that. Okay, how about this? You have the adult, which is a spirit. I'm using this as someone else made it up. I'm just using it. The adult's the spirit, the soul is the teenager, and the flesh is the child. So the child is very demanding and the child is very whiny. The adult is supposed to be the responsible one, and then the teenager, middle ground. And once the flesh gets to the soul, and if the spirit doesn't do anything about it, then you end up in messes like pornography or alcoholism or whatever. And I mean, like with pornography, ultimately that's just saying, oh, you're a pervert. Because you can't get past sex. You can't get past sexual things. You can't get past the concept of the sexual nature and stuff like that. And yeah, that's messed up. That's messed up to be drawn into that kind of perversion. Because like when I actually think about that, think about what I'd be doing with that, thinking about, because that's like, okay, if I was actually in person with one of the porn stars that I would engage, that I would observe online, if I was actually in person with them, I would not have sex with them, because that's me. You see, like what First Corinthians 10:13, there hath no temptation. Pornography is common to me. Sex is not common to me. So you could be the most attractive woman or whatever, and then be like, "Oh, lay with me, Joey," and I just no. I can do that because sex is not common to me. I'm not spoiled in that way, and because I'm not spoiled in that way, it doesn't tempt me. I am spoiled in the way of pornography, and because that does tempt me. Because the devil can only the devil can only use what I'm already used to. He can't use anything else. I mean, that's like, he can't tip me with alcohol. I don't like alcohol. He can't tip me with marijuana. I don't like marijuana. He can't tip me with cocaine. I don't like cocaine. He can't tip me with methamphetamine. I don't like the stuff. I don't have to have it to know whether I don't like my mind being altered. And the only thing that I actually do allow to alter my mind is pornography. But all those other things, they alter my mind. They would alter my mind too. Or, like, I I am the type that I will have natural highs. They just come about sometimes, and it's coming from the body's chemical, the chemicals of the body. Just they produce it of themselves. I don't need some drug or this thing or that thing to induce that into myself. Or I mean, one of the only things that I allow or that I have allowed in that could do anything like that. Like, I used to drink soda. A lot of people, they drink soda. I used to drink soda. I mean, soda is no different to alcohol to me. I mean, one may be rotting your teeth while the other is rotting your liver, but still, I don't like either one. Doesn't matter what you stylize it as. I mean, there's a lot of yeah, check this out. So there's a lot of variety in the soda department, but there's also a lot of variety in the fruit department. So, get the natural fruit stuff. And these are just two. Cranberry, 100% apple juice. No sugar added, 100% DV, vitamin C. Point being, I have apple, orange juice, that sort of thing. And none of that artificial stuff. 100%. 100% this type of juice. Nothing artificial. Okay, and I mean, that's variety in terms of drinks, because they get you with that variety stuff with drinks, like red Mountain Dew, blue Mountain Dew, regular green Mountain Dew, and maybe even purple. It makes sense that they'd have a purple. Then, like, what else? That's drink. Oh, well, yeah, that. Another drink. Variety. Because, I mean, that's one of the issues that was with that. When I stopped drinking soda, it was like, okay, I've got to find a new variety, because I've got to have that style to it. It's got to be stylish. And now I have that. Before, but because with soda, that's the only thing that's like that. No, it's not. The healthy end has the same stuff. I mean, that's like, on the unhealthy end, you have pornography, but on the healthy end, you have a wife, and you have chastity, each other getting to know getting to know each other's bodies and what you both like, and that's way better than the messed up scene of pornography. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I do not love the actors in pornography. I don't even love the concept of pornography. Well, maybe the flesh does. I don't. I'm the spirit dwelling in its body, not the flesh. And when I'm not a good steward, well, then the flesh gets what it wants, and I'm not doing spiritual things like I should be. But I do know that I don't want multiple women. Sex is not, like, there's that quality to it where, like, I want it in that way, but it's not like added flavor. It's not like any added fuel to the fire. I want somebody to partner with, to that two are better than one. I want that sort of thing. I want someone that will deal with finances together, will deal with life together. It's not about, oh, we're gonna have sex. It's not about that. I mean, sure, we'll have sex and we'll learn about that, but that's not the top priority. And I'd find a girl like how she looks. Like, she's about my height. She's of a healthy weight. She's not fat. She's not overweight. And I mean, some guys like fat chicks. I don't. I mean, not in a romantic sense, but when you're around somebody enough and they are not your family, like you don't have a family relationship with them, then yeah, it can start clicking that way. That whole thing about two people left on a deserted island, well, man and a woman, that sort of thing. Black, white doesn't matter anymore. Who's healthy looking doesn't matter anymore. It just, that's a man, that's a woman. I mean, that's like maybe even if you speak the same language, doesn't even matter anymore. Just man, woman. Just figure out some kind of common language. Talking about all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, because that's what I'm saying. It's not superficial to say that I don't want someone who is not keeping their vessel properly. It's just it's intellectual, or no. It shows that I care about, because when I marry somebody, I'm giving them me. I'm saying this is yours now. I mean, like if I'm talking to a girl and you don't like that I'm talking to her, just wrap your arm around me and just it's either you having that person, but just you have my permission to wrap your arm around me and essentially saying this is mine, because I'm yours. I mean, that's the thing. I marry a woman. This belongs to her now. Whatever money I make belongs to her now. Everything. Because we are one flesh now. Because we are that's how that works. We are no longer separate entities. We are together. Inseparable. Because there's a spiritual level with that the flesh just can't comprehend. We've just united in a way that is unlike anything. And that's, I mean, it's the preference thing. It's like there are certain guys who the race, or I mean, like we're all the humans of ice cream is essentially the idea, or your preference of pizza topping. Some guys want a Japanese looking girl, well, Asian. Some guys want an Asian looking girl. Some guys want a Caucasian looking girl, and some guys want a girl for tan. Some guys want a girl without a tan. Some guys want a short girl. Some guys want a tall girl, and some guys want a girl that's about their height. And no, that's not. Oh well, you don't value the person because of who they are or something. I mean, that's like, so check this out. I marry a girl. I didn't marry her body. I married her. And I mean, I was just going over the thing about what her body's mine, my body's hers. That's true. But as her body ages throughout the years, I didn't marry that. I married her. I married I married the spirit inside that body. That's the thing to understand. And that's like, if I find a girl who, like, if I have health standards that she doesn't have, we're not compatible. If I have a certain background that's not compatible with her background, and like, if that's a thing with me, then why would you be with somebody that you're not going to be happy with? That's the thing. It's like some guys are happy with girls who are a little overweight. Because I mean, most people are in the U.S. anyways. Most people are overweight, and they just think it's normal. It's not normal. Like somebody's averaging 200 pounds, and they're shorter than, and they're shorter than 5'11" or something, and I'm not sure 5'11" would even. I mean, point being, I know that the weight that I'm at is in proportion with my height. So, and like there's the different factors, like a male way more than female, that sort of thing. So, like, I guess I would be either way. You have people who are way too short for their weight, and that's how you know they're overweight. Because you're not supposed to, and then I mean there's factors in that. So like the older you get, maybe then that adds some weight on there, but well, all things are possible to those in Christ. So you want to be at your healthy weight or stay at your same weight throughout your life, you can. Just speak it over yourself. You want to keep your hair forever, well, I mean for all of your time on this earth, you can. Because why would God not allow that? I mean, some people prefer being bald. Some people don't. Some people prefer short hair. Some people prefer long hair. Some people prefer a beard, and some people don't. I mean, that's like, I have never kissed a girl. I've been kissed by a girl. At least maybe a few girls. I know I was kissed by at least one girl, and then there's another girl who may or may not have kissed me, but it didn't register anyways. But one girl registered, and I know that because I have this hair up here on the lips, that's gonna be an inconvenience. Because I mean, that's like if I'm eating something and now I got hair in my in the food. That's not fun. So yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have facial hair, groom it, and that's like I'm in the winter right now, so well, I mean, I'll like and then sometimes I'll and even like up here. And then down here is, I mean, I've done that. Or, yeah. Point being, take care of you. Yeah, that's what the point was. What I was just saying, because I mean, I can do better about that. Take care of yourself. That's like, if a girl doesn't want to be with me, like for the standard of I do not take care of my facial hair, okay, that's understandable, because that if it shows that if I'm not willing to take care of that, why would I be willing to take care of her? And there's red flags with people, and that's like with me. Maybe my red flag is you're overweight, and I don't want someone who's overweight. It doesn't mean that you're not a good person. It has nothing to do with that. It means that I want someone of a specific classification. Because it's not, they want to make it about, well, two people, they love the Lord, and that's enough. It's enough if it's enough for them. It's not enough if it's not enough for them. They still have to make that marriage work. And if there's red flags, that's going to mess things up. That's like, I mentioned the pornography thing. Some guys are creeps. Some guys are just disrespectful to women as a habit. Why would any woman want to be with a guy like that? It doesn't mean that he's a bad person. It's not about that. He may well be a good person. I mean, doing all this sorts of giving, stuff like that. And like, just good. And yet, he does not treat women right. Why would a woman want to be with a guy like that? And that's like a girl. I mean, if she's not taking care of herself, and the same with guys, if they're not taking care of themselves, even as far as how they treat other people, it's not superficial to say you don't want to be with them. It's not superficial. It's smart to say, I'm not going to marry you because you're like this. And I don't want to marry somebody like that. I want to marry somebody who will respect me and treat me right. Who cares enough about their body to take care of it. Who puts in the effort. If you won't put in the effort on you, why would you put in the effort on me? And that's like, if you won't put in the effort to not be that way. And a lot of people, they will go and shoot for the moon with getting rid of some weight, and they're going in all the wrong directions. Because the thing that they're, and I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, so there's that, but what I noticed as far as me and my body, and me and this house that I'm living in, how I regulate my weight is I just don't eat, or I eat, and that's all. I mean, if I want to go a day and only have supper, I'll do that. Because that's how I regulate my weight. Or I mean, because my weight doesn't, that I know of, it doesn't go up and down. It stays at the same proportion because I eat about the same rate. And yeah, it's not just about watching what you eat. It's also about, if you want to lose weight, just don't eat. And that can be very difficult when you're used to eating large portions in a day. But you want to lose weight, stop eating as much. I mean, if you want to eat, that's like, some people have 50 snacks in a day, average. And their body's conditioned to that, so that's what they do. And the thing is, when you are willing to do something to, and that's like, there are some girls where they're not overweight, and they'll get a complex about it, thinking, oh, I must be fat, and they're not. And then they end up going to the other end of it, of they want to lose weight that they don't have. Like tall girls who are supposed to weigh a bit more because they're taller. That's all. It's not that they're fat, it's just that they're taller. And then when they go in, so yeah, there's two ends of that. You can either be overweight and not willing to do anything about it, and then just like whining because people won't want to date you, and this applies to men too, because there's a lot of guys. I mean, like I said, people in the U.S., most of them are overweight. That's not just talking about women, that's talking about guys. So you're not getting any, no one wants to be with you. Well, two departments to check, and I mean there's many more, but are you overweight? Like, have you just not cared about taking care of your body? And the other thing, how do you treat women? Do you treat them do you treat them as a sexual object? Do you treat them as a treasure to be conquered? Or do you treat them as a person? That's the thing to find out. I mean, that's like, I mentioned, like with me, the whole pornography thing, going and chasing that. I know it's ultimately not the girls. And I mean, it's the women. I mean, it's women, but still, I'm chasing the videos more than the people. The scenarios more than the people. It's not about the people. It's not about, oh, she's like, no, it's not about them. It's not about falling in love with some porn star. No, it nothing to do with love. It's all lust. And it's not lust for people. It's lust for scenarios, perverted scenarios that are like, only the flesh would ever like that. Because, perversion is the opposite of what God has in mind. It's the spirit of error. And because that's been common to me, it's a temptation. If it was never made common to me, nah, that not messing with me. That's like alcohol doesn't tempt me because it's not common to me. what could I tell you? Yeah, go back to what I was saying. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's James chapter 4, verse 7 of the King James Version Bible. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. 2 Corinthians 10, chapter 10, verse 5, King James Version Bible. So, and I mean, like, we're going with the whole, if you want to lose weight. Because again, you don't have to be some perfect weight. You don't have to. It's just there's certain guys that have that as a preference. I mean, there's a lot of women that are way too skinny. And then there are a lot of women that are way too big. And there's a lot of guys who just don't care. So yeah, it just depends on what kind of guy are you going after. Because I mean, like, I have my preferences. Another guy who'll have his preferences. Don't hate me because I have preferences. I mean, it just means, I mean, evidently I'm not compatible with you. If my preferences, if my standards and your standards are not the same, evidently we're not compatible. That's all. I'll still love you as a sister, or I mean, a dude overweight, love him as a brother. It doesn't. It's not going. It's going to the extent of I am choosing a partner that I'm going to commit my entire life to. Do you realize the gravity of that? So of course I'm going to pick, because I want someone who's going to work with me, not someone who's going to work against me. So yeah, and oh yeah, with the weight thing, I mean, if you want to lose weight, then do this. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and okay, bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. Well, bringing into captivity a thought is saying, you thinking about like that dessert, that cake, that cupcake, that sort of thing. And instead of going and eating it or going out and buying it, or like you're in the store and you see all these things, instead of getting those things, tell that devil to run. Embarrass sin. Embarrass gluttony. Embarrass it. Tell it, get out of my mind. Shut up, devil. Embarrass it. Oh, you may freak some people out, sure. But I mean, are you going to take it seriously or not? And I mean, that, same application for me. I mean, that can, the way the words I use by anything, but like, shut up, pornography. I mean, that's like that's a bit long, so shut up, porn. That sort of thing. And yeah, you may freak out some people out who hear that, but so what if they're freaked out? The point is, you're going spiritual. You're going spirit. You're going above flesh. Because I mean, that's how you're gonna win. I mean, I'm talking about people being overweight. Well, I should not be entertaining pornography ever, at all, because it's wrong. It's a perversion of what God has set in place. I should be pursuing chastity wholeheartedly, never pursuing any uncleanness. And yet I still have to work through that. I still have to decide in my heart, I'm just not going to do that again. And like I'm talking about living water and food. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Because if I'm always thinking about Jesus when I'm thinking about Jesus, I'm happy. I've joy of the Lord is my strength. I've got that. And I'm not going to pursue the well that I have to keep coming back to if I already have the will that is just self-sustaining. I mean, it's like, it's always versus, okay, I got to refill. That sort of deal. Something else I wanted to say. Yeah, that's the thing. I understand if a girl doesn't want anything to do with being in a relationship context because of knowing that I have not resolved the issue of watching pornography. Only, I mean, in the context of right now is fornication. If I was married to somebody and I still was messing with it, that's adultery. It's a major insult to a woman when you choose porn over her, because it is sexual, and it's not about choosing those women over her. It's about the scenarios ultimately. I bet other women are involved in those scenarios, and it's really invalidating to your wife when, well, it's invalidating to your wife when you're choosing that over her. And that's something I have to come to terms with, which I don't believe that's going to be difficult. When I have a woman, when I have my wife, because like I said, this is hers. I marry her. I'm hers now. I belong to her. I will not belong to any other woman because I belong to her. And I'll belong to my wife. And I'm glad, because it's good to belong to somebody. You know, when they treat you right, when you have similar values, and whatever dispute you have being something that's worth working through. But you don't get with somebody that's unequally yoked. You gotta get with somebody that you'll be happy with. Not, I mean, that's like two people may love the Lord. That does not mean that they are compatible. That does not mean, that's like, I can be in the same room as anybody else if we have just the common value of love above everything. Or, I mean, like, oh no man anything but to love them. I can be in the same room, in the same context as somebody else, you know, just talking to them, with love being the foundation of our whole relationship. Not romantic love, just love. I can do that. What I will not do is compromise this vessel by going and choosing to be with somebody that I know it's a mistake, that I know we are not compatible, that I know it's not going to work, because I don't love them. I don't love their ways. I don't love who they are. You gotta love who they are in order to be with them. Because you don't love who they are, then you're not achieving anything. There's nothing. There's nothing there. And by you being with somebody that you do not love, they could have been with somebody that loved them for their chunkiness or something like that, their love handles. They could have been with somebody who didn't love them. That didn't bother them at all. I mean, that's like, so I'm saying all this stuff. It's initial stages of attraction. So I mean, if I I get married, I have my partner. Now, as she gains weight after we're married, what do you think? What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna care, because I picked her. I picked her above the shape of her body. Of it. If she gets shorter, so what? I picked her. I didn't pick. I mean, in the initial stages of attraction, yeah, the body's one of the things I'm picking. But as we both get older, things change. I mean, they can change a lot or they can change a little, but still, they'll change. And when they change, I'm not gonna look at her as, oh, where did you go? No, I'm gonna look at, hey, that's the woman I married. I love her, because that's how it's supposed to be. These bodies, they're not built to last. Not in the context of, well, I mean, these bodies are born of sin. The spiritual bodies, they're not born. I mean, the spirit that dwells in this body, it's not born of sin. But this house that I'm living in, this body, it's born of sin. Can't fix that. I mean, I can speak over this thing and keep it alive until the rapture, sure. By just speaking good things over it. But that doesn't change that it's just flesh. This is just flesh. I mean, that's like with porn. It's just flesh. It's just flesh in these erotic scenarios. It's just flesh. Who cares about flesh? Except the flesh itself. And that's like a married woman. Honey, this is just flesh. I chose you. I didn't choose. I mean, once I'm with you, then I already chose you. I didn't choose your flesh. I chose you. And one of the ways that I could indicate that you would be, that who you are would be compatible with me is, how does she take care of herself? What's her physique like? I mean, there's like the thing about not wanting hatchet-headed children. You know, like somebody who they got a warped figure. It's understandable not to want your daughter or son to be with them, because you want your grandchildren to look beautiful. And that whole thing, I mean, it's awful when people get the short end of the stick on things, whether it's beauty or muscle. And yet, in the end, when we're all in heaven, who cares?